Yo. Yo. Welcome back to Son of a Preacher Man. As always, I am your host, the Soap Man. Now, in my last episode, we talked about how the Israelites had eliminated all obstacles in their way of invading the promised land, the land of Canaan. Moses has died, and power has been transferred to Joshua. Now it's these next set of events that I want to hone in on because I feel there are a few valuable lessons to be learned. So today I'd like to talk to you about a hoe. No, not just any old ordinary hoe. This hoe was special. This hoe was smart. And this hoe would find herself an instrumental component to the success of the Israelites. Now, I'm gonna read the story and y'all just try to follow along. Ladies and gentlemen, Soap Man presents to you from the book of Joshua, part 2, the Harlot. Now we reading in the second chapter of the book of Joshua. We starting right at the beginning of verse 1. And it reads, And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went. And just in case you all don't know, if we go back to my last episode, back to my map, Jericho is the land. If you see my pointer here, the Israelites are stationed just to the right, just to the east of the Jordan River. Just to the west of the Jordan River is the city of Jericho. So Joshua sends out 2 spies. Notice, Joshua is a little Moses. Remember when Moses sent out spies to spy out the land of Canaan? He sent out 12 spies, and Joshua was one of the 12 spies. So just like Moses, little Moses, Joshua, mini Moses, Joshua, sends spies out ahead for reconnaissance. Okay, so let me start over because I'm already at the beginning. I'm sorry, no more interruptions, okay, I promise. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim two men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went. And they came into an harlot's house named Rahab. Now, my cousin Lewis, owner of Lil Lou's Barber College and Barbershops, and Robin's Hood Barber College and Barbershops, he swears to me that this hoe's name is pronounced Rahab. Rahab. But I contend that it's pronounced Rahab, okay? Because I know the Arabs and Jews like to talk with the back of their throat, okay? So Rahab, as my cousin Lewis would say, that's the America way of saying it. If you ever seen Roots, Lewis Gossip Jr. play a dude named the Fiddler, and he don't say America, he say America. And so when you say Rahab, that's the America way of saying it. If you would have said it back then in them days, it would have been pronounced Rahab. Rahab. Okay, Rahab. Because over in that part of the world, they like talking with the back of their throat. Now, continuing on. So it says, and they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab. and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. It said tonight. So it makes it seem to me like the same day that they spent the night at her abode, the king has caught wind of it. And it says, and it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men, and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. So Rahab clearly sent, let's catch up everybody on the same page. Let's catch everybody up to the same page. Joshua, like Moses before him, sends 2 spies out. Well, Moses sent 12, but like Moses, Joshua sends spies out. He only sends 2 to scout out the city of Jericho. These 2 spies, they go to what I'm assuming is the local hoe's house, a harlot named Rahab, and they stay the night. The king of Jericho, the city of Jericho, he catches wind of this news and sends men to tell Rahab, hey, give these guys up. Rahab, she just sent the king's troops off. This is called a send-off move. This is called a blank mission. I don't know what era you grew up in, but the era I grew up in, this is called a send-off and a blank mission. What Rahab does is she sends the king's men off on a blank mission. She lies, which is a send-off, and sends them on what my generation calls a blank mission. It is a fruitless endeavor. That's what a blank mission is. Complete send-off and blank mission. Okay, now let's pick up where we left off. It says, and the woman took the 2 men. Let me go back a little bit. It says, and the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. There came men to me, but I don't know where they are now. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. I don't know. I don't know where they went. She says, Whither the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of the flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan, unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, and listen closely to what she says. This is going to be important. It says, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have showed you kindness, that ye will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token, that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, Our life for yours. If ye utter not this our business, and it shall be, when the Lord hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Now let me explain to you what has just transpired. These spies of the Israelite congregation have just made a pact with this hoe. That's what has just happened. This is going to be one of the points that I'd like to make at the end of this episode. But it has to do with these important men on this important mission have just made a pact with this hoe. And Rahab, if you ask me, is smart for making this pact. She's not just looking out for her own skin. She wants to save her mother, her father, her sisters, her brothers, and all that they have. And a pact is struck. These men say, let me read it again. She says, let's read the pact again. She says, now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord. First she acknowledges, hey, your God is God. We heard about what you did to Pharaoh and his army and how you dried up the Red Sea. We heard about that. We heard about what you did just across the border of the Jordan River unto the two great giant kings of the Amorites, Sihon and Og. We heard about it. Everyone here is shaking in their boots. This is vital intel that these spies need. This is the information that these spies came to get. What is the morale of the people of the city? How hard of a fight is this going to be for us? Rahab gives it up, saves their life, risks her life to save theirs. And indeed, if she gets caught by the king, he's going to flay her like Ramsay Snow. So she says, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have showed you kindness, that ye will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token, that ye will save alive my father, my mother, and my brethren and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, our life for yours. On this condition, if ye utter not this our business, and it shall be, when the Lord hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. So it goes on and it says, then she let them down by a cord through the window. For her house, and this is also important, remember this, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned. And afterward, may ye go your way. Let me explain what just happened just really quick. So they make a pact. She provides them a way to escape. It says she let them down by a cord through the window. She lives in the city wall. Her apartment is within the city wall. She is right on the outskirts of the city, on the city wall. Her apartment is built into the city wall. So she helps them escape the city by letting them out of her apartment window, letting them down out of her apartment window with a cord. Then she goes on further and tells them, look, listen to what it says. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days. She further tells the 2 spies of the Israelites how to get away from the king's troops that are pursuing them. She says, get to the mountain, hide there 3 days. By that time, they'll have come back to the city, and you'll be free to go along your way. She helps. This woman is instrumental to the operation of the 2 Israelite spies. She saves their life. She gives them valuable intel. She may as well be one of the congregation. And she makes a pact with these 2 spies that she helps escape with this vital info. So it says, then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned. And afterward may ye go your way. And the men said unto her, we will be blameless of this thine oath which thou hast made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by. And thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be upon him. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath which thou hast made us to swear. And she said, according unto your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. So really quick, let's just recap what happens. The 2 Israelite spies, they make conditions to the agreement. They say, we will honor the pact upon these strict conditions. First of all, mum's the word. You don't say a peep about our business here. That's first of all. Second of all, when we get to stomping, because that's what they're saying, when we invade this city and we get to killing people and we get to pillaging and plundering and burning this joint down, you are to have your family securely within the protection of your household, the household that we swore we wouldn't harm. If they step out that door, we are guiltless, because we gonna be bloodthirsty and ripping and romping and pillaging and plundering, and we gonna be stomping a mud hole into anybody within sight. So if you step out that door whilst this is happening, we cannot be held accountable. But if you follow the rules and follow the agreement that we made and stay within your doors, then if anybody harm you, that blood will be on our heads. And so they give Rahab. And they give Rahab a scarlet, what does it say? I want to be accurate here, okay? And it says, and behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by. So they give her a scarlet thread to bind in her window when the fighting starts. And this is so that the rest of the Israelite army knows which apartment not to destroy. And so Rahab has made a pact with the Israelite horde soon to invade the promised land, the land of Canaan. And the seal of that pact, the token of that pact, the symbol of this alliance is a red line, why do I keep forgetting what it is? A red or scarlet thread. A thread. I hope that's slang for like handkerchief or something more noticeable, because that just seemed like something you wouldn't just, it wouldn't just jump out at you. Anyway, so moving on, it says, and they went and came unto the mountain and abode there 3 days, just like Rahab told them to, until the pursuers were returned. She gave them good information. Her plan worked. I want you to pick up on all these things because I'm going to come back to them. This hoe is smart. This hoe is resourceful. It says, and they went, and they came unto the mountain and abode there 3 days until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. So the 2 men returned and descended from the mountain and passed over and came to Joshua the son of Nun and told him all the things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. So they got away. They got away with the help and the advice of Rahab. Now, a couple personal matters just pop up in my head. Since I'm not one of those holy robot church folks, hey, I can't help a couple thoughts that enter into my mind, okay? Now, let's play a game. Let's play, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Why did these 2 spies go to a hoe's house? Why go to the local harlot? Why didn't they hole up at the bakery man, or the postman, or a senator? Why hole up at the local harlot's house? You think the spies was getting some? You think one of the spies, or maybe both, was hooking up with this hoe? Burning a little midnight oil, are we? You know what I'm saying? I can't help but think that. I ain't judging them. It was one of the rules that the Israelites was not to engage in mixing with other races and other nations, but they broke that rule from the very get-go. It wasn't even long in place before it was broken. So what was they doing at the harlot's house from the get-go? I'll tell you this. The late great Tupac once said, I learned not to trust a bitch from the prostitutes. Now, I think it's safe to say that hoes are not looked upon favorably in the modern society. And I think it's also safe to say, or to suppose, that they weren't looked upon favorably back in ancient society. But I'll tell you this. One thing I know, and I'm sure Tupac knew this too. One thing I know about hoes is, not all hoes are stupid. Not all hoes are just simply hoes. There's an old saying, You can learn a lot from a dummy. Well, you can learn a lot from a hoe. Let me tell you something about hoes. They are very resourceful. They know all the business. They know all the gossip. And they know men. They deal with enough lowlifes, bums, scums, shady characters, rich men, sophisticated men, all walks of life. They know men. They know secrets. A lot of people probably ain't had no business at Rahab's house, then been through there. Hoes don't just break up happy homes. Okay? My father says there's only, you either cursed or you're blessed in this life. I tend to disagree. I tend to be of the belief that you can be both cursed and blessed. Here you have Rahab, a hoe, a local harlot, the lowest member of society. And it is this woman, listen, remember what she said. She said, this hoe is smart. She says, I know that your God is the real God. We heard about the stuff that he did for you, and we heard about what you did to the two giant Amorite kings. Make a pact with me. I've helped you, help me. This hoe is smart. She sees a situation. She sees impending doom. And she sees a way to save herself from it. And regardless to what you may think about hoes, the Israeli army, the spies of the Israeli army were not too high and mighty to make a pact with the lowest member of Jericho's society. She was not so beneath them that they were willing to make an alliance with her. Think about that. One last thing before we go. The power of women in general. I'm not one of these dudes that's like a dude feminist. I'm a realist. I'm a rational-minded individual. Did you know? It's many reasons why the United States is the number one superpower on the planet Earth. But one of the main key reasons is women. The United States learned a long time ago the power of women, the untapped potential of women. So they started letting women vote. They started letting women work. It really started in World War II when all the men left to war and it was the women left to do the industrial work. And what the United States government saw was, well, damn, these women are productive citizens. If we just get our head out of our culo, we can make way more money than we've been making. This is untapped productivity. And you know the American government ain't finna pass up a free dollar or a dollar to be made. So they start tapping into the power of women. Now, women is crazy as hell, especially nowadays in my generation and below. You know, you got all these women, you know, trying to be men and trying to, you know, say, oh, I can do anything a man can do. And, you know, you got this whole crazy riffraff about what role men and women play. But look at it from the perspective of the Israelite army. They're about to go to war. and they want to win. And they're not going to let the fact that Rahab is a woman or a hoe stop that from happening. And they will use Rahab, be she hoe or none, to accomplish their goals. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 39 through 42 read. Now, before I read this, Deuteronomy chapter 32 is a interesting chapter. It's a chapter where God really asserts himself as, well, God. And he uses the word I a lot in this chapter. He says, I this, I that. And the point he's making is that he is God and that he basically does what he wants. So Deuteronomy chapter 32 verses 39 through 42 reads, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. So, folks, the two lessons that I hope you learn from this episode are, one, that as high and mighty as the Israelites may be over somebody as lowly as a local whore, they are still not too high and mighty. They are still not above making an alliance with her, forming a pact with her. They don't judge her. They work with her. The second lesson that I hope you learn is that God works in mysterious ways. I just read to you this verse to show you that he does what he wants to do. He anoints who he wants to anoint. He shows favor to who he wants to show favor to, and he saves who he wants to save. And that includes hoes too. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for enduring this episode of Son of a Preacher Man. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. If you have any compliments or insults, leave them in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not new to this channel, then just hit the like button. If you want to argue or mix it up with the soap man, if you want to be like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. If you mad at me because I said hoe over and over and over, leave a comment in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you next time. Same soap time, same soap channel, and we out.